Hey, how's it going? It is political integrity news here. And today I just wanted to kind of misspell some rumors that the DNC has been putting out. I should say not rumors, but lies. They're not rumors, they're lies. So we're going to bring up the facts on what the presidents came into office with as far as their net worth and what the presidents have left office with when it comes to their net worth. So, without further ado, let's start from towards the bottom and work our way up to Trump, because Biden's still in office. We don't have the figures on him currently, and this is as of I believe February. So this is before litigations and everything. Keep that in mind. So on Lyndon B. Johnson, he came in at $14 million. He left office at $20 million. Now, mind you, I don't remember what it was when Lyndon B. Johnson was president, but I believe the salary for a president right now is around $400,000, or it's $400,000 exactly, something like that. So keep that in mind when we're discussing all of this. Here we have Richard Nixon, and Richard Nixon came in at $2 million. After, he's at $15 million. Like, for Richard Nixon, remember, famously, "I'm not a crook" is what he said. Well, for Richard Nixon, for not a crook, he surely went from 2 to 15 million. So you can judge. I don't know what all of these presidents did as far as business ventures, but you could say whether they were shady in making money, they used their name and their political power that they had while president and after to make some money. You can definitely be the judge of that one. Gerald Ford. Now remember, Gerald Ford took over for Nixon when Nixon had to resign. So Nixon resigns, Gerald Ford takes over, and when he takes over, he is at $1.4 million. After, he's at $7 million. We got Jimmy Carter. Now, this is saying he went from 2.3 million during this time span of starting out as president to 10 million. Like, that is a massive jump these presidents are getting as we're going up this list. Reagan, he went from 10.6 million to 15.4 million. And apparently he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's just 5 years after leaving office. So not sure exactly how he gained so much money when not long after he had such a bad diagnosis come to him. But he sure did gain a good bit. We have George H.W. Bush. Now remember, George H.W. Bush was the vice president after Reagan. He was the vice president for Reagan and the president after Reagan. So, George H.W. Bush came in at 4 million. Before he had died, he grew over 475% of that to $23 million. I know they have money in land that has water. They did some oil deals. I don't remember if all that was with his son doing a lot of that or him or what, but 4 to $23 million. Like, you can be the judge if any of these figures are from, legit stuff, or if there's some shadiness, definitely some political influence on their names and who they were, and if they have any influence now. Here we have the Clintons. This is the biggest jump out of them all. We have Bill Clinton here. Remember, he did not have sexual relations with that woman, according to what he said. But it was $1.3 million for Bill Clinton when he was entering office. Leaving office, he had jumped up to $241 million after leaving office. There's some time in there that he took, but him and his wife, because they're accounted together, were a powerhouse couple that did book deals, speaking engagements, and everything else under the sun, that they grew over 6,000% since he was president. Since the start of his presidency, over 6,000%. Like, the presidency garners you 400,000. He had 1.3 million. Like, all of those speaking engagements and everything else garnered him 241.5 million. Or is the Democrat Party helping out, looking out for, the Clintons, considering that just as of 2016, Hillary Clinton was running for political office. So up until then, on her run for presidency, she was still in the federal government, whereas he was pretty much taking a back seat to her, seeing how he's gone as far as he can go. Let's get on to another Bush. This is George W. Bush, and he is at 20 million before he is president, and goes to 40 million while he is after leaving office. So I do know that the Bush family, and I can't say whether it's George Jeb or George H.W. Bush, that had a lot of land money with water on it, that they could sell water rights and the water there and the oil that they were invested in. So I did hear many things about that, but I'm pretty sure that there's a good chunk of this that is a lot to do with the Bush name, their political power and knowledge. Here we get the Obamas. Let's see. The Obamas came in at $1.3 million. So compared to the Bushes, they're on par with the Clintons. So it seems like a lot of the Republicans have come in higher compared to the Democrats, but the Republicans have left office and haven't gained as much compared to the Democrats, because here we see $1.3 million, and then after leaving office has $70 million. I mean, I do know that he's done some speaking engagements. They've wrote some books between both Michelle and Barack Obama, had some speaking engagements and some books and different various things. So I do know that they are raking it in there. I don't know if they have any kind of other business dealings out there. But that's a large chunk of money. And obviously Democrats are faring much better upon leaving office than it looks like Republicans are with these larger gains. All right, so here we come to Trump. Now remember, Trump came in as a billionaire at $3 billion before he took office. Upon leaving office, he has lost $2.3 billion. And granted, this report is from Bloomberg, and in it, they don't even get to the timeline that we now know, where the government was saying that his properties weren't as praised as high as he was reporting. So these figures could even be much higher than actual, because his properties might not be valued as high. And he lost $700 million while president. Like, and that figure has probably gone down even more with all the legality issues that he's ensued, because he was funding his own campaign for the most part, according to him. He then owed in the fraud case, in the E. Jean Carroll case, and other cases. So we don't know what all the extent is of it, but by now that 700 million figure could be $1 billion, considering everything he's going to owe when all said and done, plus the fact that these numbers could even be much lower than what they are. But remember, the Democrats are telling you that Trump is only looking out for himself and his buddies. I like to say, which true buddies is he looking out for? Because Trump had a lot of buddies that were Democrats for decades. Trump showed a letter from Oprah that was written in the early 2000s. Oprah once even brought him on the show in the 80s and asked him if he would ever run for president. And it seems like they were pretty good friends. But yet, Oprah does not support Trump. Trump went on The View and they were talking great things about him, even mentioning about his hair, and he said they could touch it and they could pull on it and everything under the sun. And then a few years later, Trump is running for president and all the women seem to hate him. But many of them were there before when Trump came to visit and they loved him. In 2005, Trump got married to Melania, and the Clintons were there supporting Trump as he had supported them for decades, while you had Bill running for president and all the lower political offices that were there that he ran for, as well as talking with Hillary and her political career. So he was friends with them for decades. And now that he started running and calling them out, they're just no longer friends, because he's a Republican now and not a Democrat. So, like, look at the facts, people. If Trump is looking out for himself and his buddies, trying to claim that he's going to make himself and them rich, where is it? Because I've seen tax breaks that Trump gave out. And yes, not all of Trump's policies were great, but not all of Biden's policies has been great. And Kamala Harris is part of that administration. And I will do a breakdown video on Trump's current policies. That is not Project 2025, because those are not his policies. That is a current fact. But getting back to the tax breaks, as we see, Trump didn't benefit from any of that stuff, but middle-class Americans did. And places like Costco, that is a corporation that typically supports Democrats, actually stated to employees that they are getting raises because of said tax breaks. They gave raises to employees, told the employees that they got tax breaks because of what Trump had gave out at the time, and that those employees are benefiting from those tax breaks with raises. Those employees also saw that they were getting more of their income because of those tax breaks. And then Costco said that their minimum wage they will start somebody at is now going to be $15 an hour from $12 an hour because of said tax breaks. Now, there's other things involved with the tax breaks and codes and different things, but I'm just highlighting one area. There may be some areas that are bad, and I would love if someone would tell me all the bad things, because I do know that after Trump left office, some of the tax breaks went away and taxes went up for some people. Now, supposedly, if Trump was reelected, we would have had some of those tax breaks reinitiated. So I know there's some bad things, and I want to highlight all bad things to include the fact that at one point Trump was looking to cut Social Security and Medicare. And now he says, no, he's not going to cut it. But keep in mind that we need to do something to help Social Security and Medicare so those funds are not dried up within the next 10 years. So somebody has to come in with a plan, and it has to be a good plan. And we can't keep dipping into the funds like that. So you don't want it to be gone. You want it to be there when it's your turn. So we got to figure something out, and we need to see some policies. So hopefully you guys found this video informative, considering that Trump has lost money, unlike the DNC is trying to tell you, those Democrats, stating that he looked out for himself. Like, show me where he was really looking out for himself. Yes, I understand people stayed at his properties. He did business meetings for stuff at his properties with presidential meetings and golf and everything else. But in the grand scheme of things, the guy lost money. He donated the salary and he lost money as president. Like, where is this him looking out for himself and helping out his buddies? Maybe some people profited that knew Trump and, you know, things were great for them, but I'm sure if that's the case, did others that, you know, weren't Trump's buddies also profit from this? Because a lot of the mega rich that profited while Trump was president, most of them were Democrat. Most of the mega rich in these mega rich cities that, you know, are in the tech industry and different things, they're Democrat. Like, Elon is a high profile person that is rich, that has supported and endorsed Trump. But, you know, your Mark Zuckerberg, who runs Meta Facebook, you got Jeff Bezos, who does Amazon. Like, those, they're Democrats. Oprah, Democrat. Like, she says she's independent, but can you show me that she's supported someone for president that was a Republican? Like, who's the last Republican president she voted for? Was it Reagan? Did she vote for any of the Bushes? I know she supported Obama. She supported Biden. She supports Harris. The rich, they're Democrat. Even Dr. Oz, like, I haven't followed Oprah and Dr. Oz in like ages because I don't live at home with my mom watching Oprah. But Dr. Oz started on Oprah, didn't he? And then he ran in Pennsylvania, and Oprah did not endorse him. Oprah endorsed Fetterman, and Oprah's not from Pennsylvania. She endorsed Fetterman. She did not endorse Dr. Oz, who you would think is a good friend of hers. So did they have a falling out? Or is she just lying in her claim that she is truly independent and likes you to believe that she just supports the people that are worthy of support. Like, let's stick to the facts, people. I want to hear some of y'all comments below. Let's keep this civil. Let's have some discussion. Let's have some debates. And let's go ahead and talk all of this out